This is Rick Anderson, and welcome to On the Road with Ice Castle here. And we're excited today because we have a very special podcast coming your way today. Kind of a controversial little subject going on, and we thought we'd get the experts from Red Lake up with you here today. To kind of give you a little background on the story, there's some legislation going on up at Red Lake currently that basically the legislation is to return the upper north Red Lake, the east side of Red Lake, to the Red Lake reservation up there, and so we brought on all a lot of the prominent resort people, and as well as some Fisher people. Susie's with us here today. Why don't you guys all just kind of introduce yourself? Johnny, you start with yourself first.
Johnny Boy, with Cookies on Up Red. My dad owns the resort. We're an outfitter, smaller outfitter on the lake. Um, Cookie's been there about 24 years. I've been around for about six. I'm a carpenter by trade, and the fishing is more of a hobby for me. But hoping one day I can take it over for Dad, and keep it going for him. So.
We also have Shane Youngbauer. Did I pronounce that right, Shane?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm an outfitter just south of the lake here. I got a homestead as well that's in this basically in the treaty of the state land. I don't have the issue with the the lake. I have issue with the land that is being basically taking. I will be landlocked in through my homestead now. We moved up here in 2016. The business that we actually run is Northwoods Fish Houses. We bought that from a friend that's been up here since the crappie boom in 2006. So Northwoods has been around for almost 20 years. So we would like to keep our homestead and our business alive, you know. I mean, it's just a
It's your lifeblood. We're going to get into that a little bit here. We'll talk a little bit about the legislation and whatnot. Susie, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about you do a lot of fishing up on Red, I understand, right?
Yep, so Susie Busta, we live south of Red Lake, so we're not far. So we make trips up there every season. Been up there a couple times this season and got into the crappies, which was just amazing to do. So I've been fishing my whole life, more open water fishing since I was little, and about within 10 years or so I've been ice fishing, so that's a little bit newer to me.
And then, of course, we have the legend himself, Cookie.
I
How you
know
doing there,
with this
Cookie?
legend. All right, I'm
And
Johnny's
you,
dad. I go by Cookie. My dad didn't like that name at all. He said, "No son of mine's gonna be named Cookie," but it is what it is. I've stuck with this nickname my whole life. So I run a
it's
little
kind of like the
resort up
boy
here.
name
Yeah, a boy named Sue.
is,
Same thing.
yeah, like the boy named Sue.
Yep,
And
exactly.
then Red Lake Remote, Johnny, they were going to join us. I don't know if we're having some connection issues or not, but the great people at Red Lake Remote. And obviously, we had kind of a limit that we could get on this call at once. There's a lot of concerned, lodge owners and outfitters and fishermen. And so we just kind of want to talk about this. I also have with on the podcast producer Brady, who just stepped away for a second, but he'll add his 2 cents once in a while. So, who wants to start with kind of what this is all about? If you're tuning into this podcast, you've probably heard a little bit about some of this legislation that's been introduced in the House. Is it the House or the Senate?
It's actually it was introduced to the House, and they do have an author in the Senate now, so it's both House and Senate. Um, the House bill is HF 4780, in which you stated that our state government wants to give back all the state land, all the public buildings, the public accesses, the public beach, which would landlock us all in, and basically, in turn, our property values would be worth nothing. Their ultimate goal is to get control of the lake back too. it's hard to say what their motives are. I've lived in this community for 6 years now, and I've become friends with the native tribe members who don't live on the res. I have friends who are native tribe members who live on the reservation, and it's tearing our community apart, man. It's just horrible. This was introduced 6 or 7 days ago, and it's already trickled its way into our community. It makes me sick to my stomach to think that legislatures from an area they know nothing about would write a bill to completely eliminate a homestead or a community that's been here for over 100 years. Two wrongs don't make a right. I think we could come to a resolution on this deal if we could all sit down and talk about it. It's been slipped in under. They tried to slip it in under the radar without any of us knowing about it. In my opinion, and luckily we were able to catch it and get on top of it here, and we're making a lot of progress. As far as standing up and fighting for our livelihoods, our livelihoods, our businesses, our homes, our community. We're a very tight knit community up here, and I just think they're going about it the wrong way. So.
Well, and it's what's interesting about this is it's not just about it's about business owners, it's about landowners, it's about outdoorsmen and outdoors women that love to go up and just really appreciate and enjoy this incredible resource that really should be given and used by everyone, right? And that's what no one on this side is trying to limit who can go on to Red Lake. And obviously this is not a bashing of the tribe up there, but it's just more a concern about this and obviously what's next. What's the next lake that they do this on. And it's so Susie, you're kind of a native to up there. You live not too far from there, and you do a lot of fishing on the lake. What's from an enjoyment standpoint, and what does this mean to families and people that go up and spend good quality family time up on Red Lake and get to enjoy each other's company? What does it mean to the average person that might lose that ability to do so?
I think for us, especially since we're so close to it, I mean, we have an incredible walleye fishery that's, within hours of us that we can just go up to for the day. If we want to, we can take our family up there and enjoy it. And to not have that right there is, I mean, that's a huge loss for us as anglers. It's something that we really enjoy and we want to keep enjoying. And to not be able to do that anymore, I think from like I said, an angler perspective would be really detrimental to us, losing that fishery. And not only that, I kind of think too about the people that live up there and their livelihood and the impact it's going to have on them as well.
So when was the first? Does anyone know when the other was? How long has it been that the lower Red and the other part of Red Lake, the upper Red side? When was that first made off limits, or has it always been off limits?
Yeah, I don't have an answer to that. If it was always off limits, I know. Back in the early 1900s, when they logged the area, they had the Chippewa Logging Company, and they hauled logs back and forth across the river or across the lake to the reservation to build homes and things like that. So I don't know a lot of history yet about about how long it's been off limits, because I know at one point, like I said, loggers were allowed to travel to and across the lake. So
And the thing is that no one, at least no one on this call, I mean, no one's disputing what's there now, the way it's done. In fact, a lot of people think that that's great for the fishery to be able to have, some parts that are left largely left alone. So I don't think anyone's trying to get back, the other parts of Red Lake. They're fine with this, but they just want to keep the part that's there. Shane, what, from your standpoint, your perspective, tell me about the impact and what you're hearing from people about this legislation and that type of
So
thing.
I'm more, just like I said, I'm south of the lake. I'm actually more with the farmers right now, because if they actually do take the state land, like I said, we're surrounded by Red Lake, the forestry. So if they take that back, they have a lot of pull. We found out last night at a meeting from the guys out of White Earth, that once they get control of that land, they have a 5 mile radius, to basically do whatever they want to private property, to farmers, what you can and can't spray, how you control your farm. So that is, I mean, a huge play in their their livelihoods, not just mine. Because they're all my neighbors, and I'm a fishing guy, and they're all farmers. So it's two totally opposite people, but it all comes into one. They'll lose their farms. Their it, it's so hard to explain. I don't know how else to take it as a farming, prospect. I'm from Pine City. I grew up farming for many, many years. I just couldn't imagine my farm be nothing. We own 40 acres, built a big shop here. We run out of a public access. I actually run out of a public access. So if that gets shut down, I have no place to run. Oh, unless I go to a resort. But if something happens there too, now you're right back into that same, um, objective, to where you can't go on the lake, or I don't know what's going to happen with that. I mean, it's so crazy. I feel bad for, like I said, our farmers here. They're in a world of hurt. The
And even
loggers.
businesses,
I'm in state
even
forest.
even businesses and
So if
restaurants.
that
Cookie, you've
happens,
been around for a long time, and tell me about your history and kind of from your standpoint of someone that's kind of been on the lake for a long period of time. Uh, what kind of changes have you seen? Have you ever seen something less like this in your career try to come about from their end?
No, I have not. I know that Jourdain, he was trying for years to prove that it was their land, but he never was able to prove that. But now they're saying that they have documentation that they can prove it. So I'm not sure. But my great grandpa Norman homesteaded here. So I've been here. I've had relations here for 115 years.
Yeah, that's the part I think that no one's trying to be. I don't know. It's a hard deal. So from they want to take that whole upper part and then a mile buffer. Is that right, Johnny? Or how does that work for around the lake?
So yeah, that would be more on a federal level. When it comes to the mile buffer and the lake, right now, what they want is they want to get control of this. From what I've learned in the past short 6 days, is they want control of the state land, all the public buildings, the public accesses, the beach, and then that way, if they have control of that, they landlock us. They can tell us that we can't be on their property. We can't use their property to get to ours. And in turn, what the Senator Green told us last night is that if that does happen, they would make our property values worth nothing. My mom and dad would have nothing, and then no compensation to relocate, no compensation for the structures that are already on the property, no compensation for the business they have built. And that goes for all the businesses on the lake, and like Shane was saying, the farmers, if they get control of the lake and the water, they'll take the water rights, and we'll have no more wild rice farmers. The Renimos will be out of a farm. The Dureskis, the Petrowskis, farmers that have been up here for 100 years, 100 plus years, farming this land. Um, the homesteaders came here, and it was barren land. There was nothing. It was all swamp and bog. And they came here, and they blood, sweat, and tears. And I don't know how they did it. Thinking back when they had covered wagons and horses, how they cultivated that land, is just amazing to me. And to take that heritage away from us and to take that history away from us, it's two rights don't make a wrong. Once again, it's it's this place has become a this lake saved my life,
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
and when I moved up here, I wasn't exactly in the best place in life, and I came to a community that loved me and cared for me, and some of them had to learn to love me, but you know what, they all do, every single one of them, and it's just been an amazing community. I've never been a part of a community like this. The kindness, the generosity, the just the you know it's just amazing. The people here, how kind and generous they are, and to see us, have to fight for this, and possibly, we're like we had a work group today, kind of figuring out more plans of how to move forward with this, and you know, we we're coming together as a community here, and we've reached out to our fishing friends, our customers, our clientele, our loved ones in the cities, to write letters, and the response has been unreal. I mean, it every time I call one of these legislators or their assistants, it's, oh my God, our phone has been ringing all day, and that's what we need. We need to let these people know, this isn't the right way to do it. 150 years of communications with the Chippewa tribe, and they're just going to throw it in the dumpster. And the relations we've built with them on the Keep It Clean. The Keep It Clean. Robin Dwight, our president, has been amazing. She's taught me so much in these 6 days, and brought me under her wings, and it's like, to lose these people would be detrimental to my mental health, to everything, the fishing has become my life.
Well, and the thing is that a lot of times these people that sponsor these bills have never been up there. They have no clue what it's about. They're not outdoorsmen. They don't fish. They don't hunt. They're just trying to do something to be. I don't know what they're trying to be, but this from a tourism standpoint, Susie, and just state revenue. I'm not calling on you to be an expert on the revenue that this creates, but it's got to be an absolute huge amount of money that it makes for tourism in Minnesota. People coming from out of state, people coming from the cities, all over the place come to Red Lake and enjoy this incredible natural resource.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you hear about people talking about it way down in southern Minnesota. You see the lines of ice castles coming up every weekend. You see the Ice Castles owner group event that takes place and all that. Really, it's not just the community up there, but it's the places they stop along the way, and that brings in money for each and every community that they stop. They stay at hotels, they buy bait. I mean, I couldn't even fathom how much revenue it brings in every year. And that's just, I mean, that's not even ice. That's open water. So you're looking at just a huge amount of revenue.
So some of the numbers that we kind of threw around today, as far as visitors who visit the lake, and like you were saying, Rick, people come up from all over the world to fish this lake. You know, I know we got customers that come from all over the country. I don't know if we've had anybody national that comes, but I know Westwind does. I know for sure Westwind has people that come from all over the world, but the tentative numbers were 65,000, average of 65,000 people a year fish the lake in the winter. And it's 100,000 plus people a year that come to fish the lake, and enjoy the campgrounds and enjoy the public forest, and hunt. And, it's not just fishing, it's hunting, it's four wheeling, it's hiking, it's the Big Bog National Forest, or the Big Bog State Forest, sorry. The campground that I camped at with my grandparents when I was a little kid will be no more. But I can't imagine. I can't imagine a day where I can't go up and jump in the boat with my mom and dad, or jump in the fish house with my mom and dad, and throw a line down and tell stories and laugh and cook a meal. I just, this has just become, it's become everything to me. And I'm a fighter, man. I will fight this to the very end. So
Well, Susie mentioned the Ice Castle owner group, big get together they have up there, and of course we go up there and just seeing the sheer number of kids and families, and it's not just a party event. It is a true family event. Lots of vendors up there, and I was also thinking about this, Johnny, as you were talking. I was thinking about, or actually, I think it was Susie talking. I think about when we come up from St. Cloud, we leave, we usually stop in Brainerd. We stop, oftentimes we'll stop up at Reed's on the way up, pick up some tackle, maybe stop, when you get up to Black Duck, there's a place we usually gas up. We get some groceries there. And then, if the spirit moves us, maybe we stop in and have a bump when we get to the edge of the lake at one of the bars. It's amazing how much revenue that it must go into just the state itself. And it's obvious when these bills come across, usually it's from someone that has no clue what a fishing pole or a gun is, and I don't know who's the sponsor. Who are the sponsors of this? Does anyone know?
So one of the authors in the Senate is Sidney Jordan. There's 9 other sponsors of that bill in the House. The other in the House, I think I said that right. Sidney Jordan is the author in the House, and then there's 9 others in the House that sponsored it. And then Shane, what's the other lady's name in the Senate? Kunish is the other. She's the other author in the Senate. And from what I've read and learned about this lady, she is a tribe member somewhere. I'm not sure where. I think White Earth. And her life's mission was to get into politics and to get land back for the tribes. So, um, and there has been zero economic impacts done on what it would do to the state, what money the state would lose. I just don't get that. I guess I don't understand. So
Well, it's crazy. What would you suggest? Either Cookie, Shane, Susie, or Johnny. What would you guys suggest for person sitting here watching this podcast now? What's the best course of action? Do we have some people we should contact? What do you guys think is the best thing that the average ice fisher person can do, or sports person can do, or even someone that just cares about this? What would you recommend?
Well, right now they're saying emails, phone calls to all the senators, all the representatives, uh, calling, email the governor.
It doesn't even have to be. I get a lot of questions about that too. It goes right to where you're from. It doesn't have to be where we're from. You go to your senator or your higher up. You tell them no on this bill. I mean, that's a big thing. Make sure you go to your area and let them know. And not just us, because Green is with us. I mean, he is 100%. He is. He's
Yeah, I
very
think
upset about it, that this bill is there now. And I can't believe it hasn't been federally yet, because it's 2 nations that are fighting over this land, and it should become federal before it even should become in the state.
Brady,
It should already be Supreme
Brady, you
Court,
have
yeah,
truly,
Brady, you have
having
in
something
I
to
just
my
got a
say.
eyes,
couple
is
thoughts
what I look at it as.
when it comes to talking to your politicians. The first thing I would say is that most people haven't reached out and had a conversation with their politician. And it's really important to do that, because it's amazing how just a few people reaching out and having a conversation with their legislator can really make a difference in their minds. And I don't mean going in and banging down their door, but truly letting them know how much this fishery means to them, and recognizing that legislator has a vote, and you want them to use that vote to influence the passage or not passage of that bill.
Yep. Well,
And
we
the other
only
thing I
have
would say to
one
that
chance.
also is that these people are going to get a lot of email and phone calls, but I think it's also, you can, if you have the time to go down and knock on their door and shake a hand, There's nothing more personal than that, than a lobby full of people that are speaking the same mind about let's keep Upper Red open.
Yeah, 100%
I
agree,
was told that's
baby.
a bad idea though for a rally. Or yeah, I mean, like you say, absolutely, Brady. It's just, the only thing is that I know when they went down the Wallses and how much of a big commotion
I'm
that
not. I'm
made. I
not.
just
I'm not
wonder what
looking
it
at
would make
having
if we did.
a
If you're
100,000
saying
people
that
show up
it
at the
would be
Capitol at one
awesome.
time. No, not a rally. I'm just saying
No,
that,
not a
and
rally.
not to even
No,
say
right,
that that's out of the
right.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that, if I go down and walk in the door of my legislature for St. Cloud, he's going to see me, and we're going to have a conversation. And I doubt that the other St. Cloud people are going to be showing up on the same day. But if he's getting regular visits or regular phone calls,
Yeah,
he can't deny that this is something that he
yeah,
needs to vote on.
Well,
yeah.
I guess I would
No,
say
yeah, totally
this. I would
understand that. Yeah,
say we should do a rally down at
correct.
the Capitol. I think that would be that would be I'm just a peaceful protest. That's all I'm talking about. Not, um,
Yeah.
I I mean
So,
that's what it's all about is
so we were actually urged by our Upper Red Lake Association president to not do this. And the reason why is because emotions and tensions are very high right now with this situation, and it could easily get out of control. And we don't want that. We don't want we don't want to look like we get it. The tribe, the tribe was wronged, and I've had many conversations about this, and I understand it, but that doesn't mean that we have to pay for it, as a community, and but yeah, back kind of getting off track there, but back on the yeah, we were advised not to have a protest, so.
well, I'm not so sure I agree
Maybe
with that one.
you do. I already looked into it.
Yeah,
Already
So
looked
if
into
so.
it.
they get what they
I
want,
know.
if
I
they
know.
get what they want, what is the timetable that how long before this thing would pass if it goes through right now?
I'm not real positive on dates. I know that there would be appeals, and there would be appeals, and there would be, I guess I don't know the dates when it would. It's not like if it passes the House, they're going to come and tell us we have to get off our property. It's going to be a long legal battle. We're hoping with the support that we've already gotten from around the state, and from outside the state, that we can at least put this bill on the table for the year, and we're hiring lobbyists and uh, and PR people to keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't keep coming up year after year. So.
Well, and it's not exactly the best year to have to hire lobbyists after going through that winter that we just went through. I mean, it's not. I feel for you guys up there. It was definitely a tough winter, but next winter's gonna be great. So, all right. So I think that's pretty good. Let's leave it on this. Ice fishing is over. Let's give us a couple stories. Tell me how the season went for you guys. Susie, why don't you start? You said you got out a few times. How was the fishing? Tell me a good fish story.
Oh, we had an amazing year. I guess probably the highlight of my year was going tip-up pike fishing on Lake of the Woods, first time ever. And we did that with the family, so we got the little guy out with us, and he got to experience that. And then crappie fishing on Red Lake. I mean, I've heard stories. I've never, never in my wildest dreams did I expect it was going to be like that. And it was awesome. And I hope I can do it again next year because it was a great time.
You
I
come up and
you,
fish with us this summer, Susie.
Yes, I would. I would love to do it this summer too. I'm just on ice season. I don't know why I'm not even thinking about summer yet.
Yeah.
well, Johnny put us on some crappies. We went up there and Johnny put us on some crappies, and when you see and when you can't even hardly get your hand around
Yes.
them, they're so big, and it's not one, it's multiple.
Whip.
It's just like they're,
Oh, it's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Steve,
still yet to see
Shane,
any. I still yet to see any pictures of those crappies, Rick. I'm wondering if you guys ever caught any.
I'm trying to keep it under wraps. I just didn't want to have to give you too big of a tip, Johnny.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think some people learned some lessons this year. Definitely, hopefully for the good. Johnny, I know any good memories other than taking us out a couple times. What favorite fish story from the year?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I moved up here and I caught my first crappie, so back in the boom days, I didn't really participate in the boom days. So I just like Susie, I heard stories of it, Cookie telling me stories. And I was like, yeah, you're full of shit. There's no way. He would tell me stories about catching, buckets full of these things. And we fished crappies on Forest Lake where I grew up, but they were, 8, 9, 10, 12 inches. And occasionally you'd get a 14, 15. But when I came up and the first one I caught through the ice, I was addicted, man. It's unreal when you get on them things and you catch them one after another for hours. It's so relaxing and soothing to me. I mean, even hunting walleyes, I love that too. But I'm a crappie fanatic, through and through. So that's I even get customers telling Dad, hey, we're catching too many crappies. Do you think you could move us to a walleye spot? As far as falling through the ice, yeah, I got a little wet this year. I went in up to my waist, and the fishing was on and off for this year, but we never gave up. We kept fighting, we kept pounding, I'd say most of our customers, all of our customers went home happy customers. Some of them went home a little happier with more fish, but we take good care of our people, and Cookie taught me that, man. That's number one. Take care of these people. You check on them. You visit with them. Like Shane was saying, you get to know them, and before you know it, they become friends and family. They're not just customers. They're not just a number to us. So.
Well, you were just talking about Cookie there, and look at his face. How could you think Cookie could ever tell a fish story? I mean, he looks as honest as they come.
Honest as
Right?
Abe Lincoln.
Well, I actually have a little story there. When I first moved up here, Shorty Hillman, that runs Hillman's Resort, he told me the one thing is don't lie to the customers. Don't lie. If the fishing ain't good, tell them. And that's kind of what I've stuck to this whole time, 23 years. I have a lot of repeat customers, so it's kind of
Got a lot of
amazing.
repeat customers who haven't caught fish too,
Yeah.
and they still keep coming back.
Wow.
It works.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
Yeah,
with this
They do.
whole thing
They do.
going
They're
on, it
not there for
is,
the
like
fish.
Johnny said, it's sickening to my stomach. If it's affecting me, it's affecting other people.
We're gonna wrap this up, but I would say this: they're when you think about Red Lake, you think about great fishing, you think about awesome people, you think about compassionate and friendly resort owners and businesses up there, and that's really what we want to save. We want to make this a mission to save an incredible fishery, as well as all the livelihoods of the people that live and reside up near Red Lake. So call, visit, be nice about it. We can express our voice from a numbers standpoint, and hopefully these state representatives are going to hear our voice collectively as one, and this thing will be something we can look back and say, you know what, it came and went, and we did the right thing. So once again, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll keep everyone updated on this topic and hopefully do another podcast on it and keep you up to date. Thanks, guys.